Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and yep, we're going to talk about the Dogs of War today. Mostly because I've been thinking about them in a very different way actually. You see, the Dogs of War are a faction that we're expecting in Total War Warhammer 3. There's been data mines around them, mostly Bertsche the Besieger and Lucarenza, which could be 2 legendary lords respectively, or 1 legendary lord and 1 legendary hero. And the Dogs of War roster is very clear. There's some basic state troopers, basically Estalians and Talians, and then just units and regiments of renown from different locations, which I imagine a fair amount of those regiments of renown will be turned into standardized units anyway. Pikemen, Purvey's crossbowmen, obviously the standard stuff with sword and shield and, well, bowmen, crossbowmen, galloper guns and the like, so you'd have a proper roster to play around with, and that's standard, right? That's what we're expecting anyway. However, what if they kind of stepped it up a notch? As you're likely aware, the Dogs of War have a bunch of regiments of renown that aren't from their native territories. The Giants of Albion, there's a High Elf and a Dragon, lizard men, pretty much everything, right? And they are originally from all parts of the Warhammer fantasy world. What if the Dogs of War DLC, which introduced a pretty basic roster for Talia and Estalia essentially, also capitalized on what we know of from the Dogs of War? I'm basically saying, what if we got some stuff that wasn't actually in the pipeline for DLC in Total War Warhammer 3, or stuff that might have been originally but might have changed? What if we ended up getting some Amazons? What if we ended up getting some people from Ind, Kuresh, Nippon? This could be a great way to actually showcase that, one, Creative Assembly are more than capable of representing these specific areas, which could just really be different, right? Nipponese samurai, right? Kurashi snake men, all that type of stuff. The purpose of this would be for 2 reasons. One, if in the likely chance that we don't get these races, at least they'll have some form of representation. Al-Muqta's Desert Dogs for one of them, right? And actually, come to think of it, I think I know why Rich Aldridge was hinting at the Hot Pot. Pretty much just to put it into the Dogs of War, so multiple factions could play around with it. I mean, it just kind of makes sense, and yeah. 2, it could allow them to gauge interest on certain races and factions. So we've all heard those rumors that Creative Assembly might be having CA Sophia take over for the DLC in Warhammer 3. And those ones are centering around the next DLC, which might be Monkey King versus Ogres, given the recent leaks and so on. So in theory, if things go well with CA Sophia, who are a smaller team and work rather efficiently from what we've been able to see, what if the scope was increased to the point that maybe it could justify extra races and factions? Opening up the land of Ind and Kuresh. I'm imagining that Ind will open up ever so slightly though when the Monkey King arrives, but Kuresh I still think is going to be closed off, and then obviously expanding the map a little bit to the right to add in Nippon. Obviously, there are some rumors that we've been hearing that maybe there's 1.5 years left in the game, but things can change, by the way. Originally, there was like this rumor that it was going to be lasting until 2027. Then there's been like, well, loads of things changing. We know for a fact that loads of things have changed for Warhammer 3, even before its release, as Grand Cafe and Kislev were never in the original pipeline. So I'm choosing to be more positive with this one and a little bit hopeful, not giving up false hope at the end of the day. Keep very much in mind that things could not go the way that we want, but yeah, you never know. You never know. Especially, I feel like maybe there's a reason to be positive with regards to, like, say, what happened with Pharaoh, because I was expecting, and I was hearing a lot of rumors they were just going to kill it off straight off, but instead they've committed to increasing the scale of the map and just giving it a proper experience. Hell, they've even said, well, maybe we could see some mythos, and maybe we could see more of this, and maybe we could see more of that. So clearly, plans have changed, and plans can change again. Now, what I was saying about this before I went on to my little tangent, was if there are units, certain units from different races and factions that are not in the game, as in like Kuresh, Nippon, or whatever, if we have specific ones, Creative Assembly can actually tell which ones are getting played with the most. A while back, Creative Assembly actually gave some stats showcasing that the Empire, Cafe, and I think Daniel were in the top played factions. Well, it's actually a lot more detailed than you think. I've asked with certain things to Creative Assembly staff, and they've gone, oh yeah, this unit gets a lot used, this one doesn't get as much. So it could be a way to actually gauge interest, something that Creative Assembly need to learn how to do, to be honest. But ultimately, this is a theory and a fun discussion point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I do apologize for a shorter video, but it is like 3 a.m. I have a flight soon. As you can imagine, trying to get like 12 days worth of content sorted was not easy. I am skipping a few days just for the sake of my sanity. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.